What's going on? Welcome to Shrek Gaming and part 2 of my 4-part series on my predictions for the starting lineup of projectL. In part 2, I'm going to go over 6 more characters I think are going to be a part of the starting roster of projectL. We know for sure that we already have 6 confirmed characters, and in my first video, I went over 6 more characters I believe are going to be a part of the starting roster. Before I get to the next 6 characters, I wanted to share with you some fan art that I found that was incredibly well done by a very talented artist that goes by the name Killian Junk. In my previous video, I stated that Akali just has to be in the game. She has to be in this game for sure. She's one of the most iconic characters in all of League of Legends, and she is already designed as if she is in a fighting game already. But this artist right here did a very good job at this character. As you can see, he rendered her perfectly as if she's already in the game. Her stance is perfect. It's almost as if you pulled her right out of League of Legends and just dropped her onto a fighting game. And the face and personality just fits Akali. This guy nailed it, and I just wanted to, shed a little light on this guy. He is very talented, and I was just amazed by this art. Riot Games, take a look at this guy. Just saying. And without further ado, now let's get after it. Coming in at number 1, Annie. Now, I know Annie's a little girl. However, I think Annie would be a perfect puppet fighting game champion. In League of Legends, she is one of the strongest mages since season 1. She uses her pyromancer abilities to deal massive damage either to a single target or in a cone. And her ultimate is when she summons Tibbers, where she literally takes her teddy bear and throws it at you, and it transforms into a giant flaming monster and completely demolishes anything in its path. Already, she sounds like she'd be a great addition to projectL. However, in projectL, I can see her kind of being that typical puppet master playstyle. However, Tibbers I think is going to be fully present and not an ultimate. He will be by her side the entire time. Next up, we got Leona. In League of Legends, Leona is the master of crowd control. Every ability she has is a CC. She is one of the strongest tanks in the entire game, and in my opinion, one of the best supports in all of League of Legends. So Leona uses her shield, do kind of a shield bash called the Shield of Daybreak, where she stuns her opponents and then projects her Zenith Blade to actually grab hold of her opponents and pulls her forward. Her ultimate, where she sends down a beam of solar energy to cause damage and stuns. In projectL, already sounds like she would be a great addition to this game. I don't think she'll be a big bodied character, but she'd definitely play like one, meaning she'd be slow moving, do a lot of stuns and slows, but cause massive damage if she gets her hits off. And third on my list is Thresh. Now, this is a huge fan favorite. Everybody loves Thresh. Another one of the best supports in the entire game, a tank character, and much like Leona, he's full of crowd control and has some of the best abilities for a support. Now, Thresh, I actually do think would be a big bodied character, and he has a lot of similar abilities to Leona. However, I think he would play a little bit faster and use his hooks to pull himself in and cause stuns and slows as well. Leona would be someone that's straight in your face. Thresh would probably be a mid-ranged melee champion using his chains for his combos and his strikes. I think he would do less damage than Leona, but he would still be a little bit faster and be able to keep a little bit of distance with his mid-range attacks. And fourth on my list, the protagonist counterpart to Thresh, Lucian. Lucian is a high mobility marksman that has a very unique passive to where every time he uses an ability, the next basic attack will be a double shot. One of his biggest skills is his ultimate, where he just does rapid fire with each one of his pistols in a straight line, causing huge damage to anybody in its way. Lucian in a fighting game would be a mid-ranged zoner, using his dash abilities to get in and out. I don't think any of his abilities will shoot completely across screen, much like Ezreal. His ultimate would cause huge damage. I think Lucian would be a great addition to this game. With his dash abilities, I think he'd be an amazing mid-range zoner. And fifth on my list, another fan favorite, Morgana. Morgana is one of the most iconic characters in League of Legends. She's been around since season 1. She's one of the original characters and would be a great character to have in projectL. So in League of Legends, she can be a mid, a support, and a jungle, but she mostly goes as support. She has her shield ability that shields you from magic, her stun ability, her AoE, which causes damage. Most of the time, she'll throw out a stun, and then once hit, she puts down her AoE, and that's one of her basic combos. Her ultimate, she chains 3 characters nearby, causing a slow, and after a delay, completely stuns them. In projectL, I actually think she'd be a great close range character, using her stuns to root her opponents and her AoE to cause damage over time. But if you look closely at Morgana, she actually has these huge claws. I actually think she would be a great just utility champion that would do great close range damage, utilizing her stuns, her AoE, and her ultimate to cause stuns and damage. And last on the list, we have Riven. Riven is one of the funnest top laners to play. She could also play mid and jungle. Riven uses her broken sword to actually do pretty big combos. She has her shield and her dash ability to close the gap, stun, and then use her combos to cause huge damage. Her ult is actually a buff that buffs the damage in her basic attack. In projectL, I think she would do exactly that. She would be a great dash champion. I could see her doing like something like a level 1 ultimate where her sword actually pieces itself together, and then she could cause huge damage combos but at mid range. Riven would be such a fantastic addition to this game. You cannot not put Riven in this game. In fact, this list of all 6 characters in this one would be so much fun to play in a fighting game. But that's all I got for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'd love to hear what you guys think, so please comment down below. Tell me if you agree or disagree with the list, and until next time, shred out.